All right, folks, welcome to Rauta's October 2024 stream. Obviously, Halloween theme, as you people probably figured out from the thumbnail. Funny one by Chris C., my thumbnail maker. And pardon for being a bit late. I was aiming for finish midnight, which was 12 minutes ago. So a little bit late of the intended starting time. But here we are. Obviously, the theme of the stream is October Rust. Let's go full typo negative. Now, seriously speaking, once again, AMA, which means ask me anything, questions and answers, and some beer, which I will soon show you, and of course, some random topics. Random topics meaning I have already put up some questions from random people, which I will be answering. Answering. First of all, thank you to Matt B, who donated some money for Rauta before the stream. After this was announced, I was at the gym when got this PayPal message that Matt has donated something to Rauta. So thank you, Matt. This stream is dedicated to you. And before we get on, let's introduce the beer of the hour. By the way, there's a giveaway. I need to mention that early enough. But before the dawn, 4:20 p.m. beer, which is American Pale Ale, and this is by Masis Brewery, a Finnish small brewery which makes quality beer and sometimes even banned beers, which you have seen on previous stream throughout the summer and early fall already. I have still already a few Masis Brewery beers with me, so I'm saving them for the stream. So let's have Before the Dawn band's official 420 beer. And about giveaway. Yes, there's a special giveaway happening today. It's a very fresh album. It's an album I gave a nice scoring, nice review earlier this week. Okay, look at this. This has been outside, so pretty chill. I mean, it's about maybe 8 Celsius at the moment, and so much foam. So let it just wait a bit. Welcome to the stream indeed, and hello, Mothibi, well, Arnemare, and Zach, Arizona. Very nice to have American friends here. So, if you can already guess what album I'm gonna give away, you are a special person, and in a good way. Now, the reason why I have this very, very new album here for giveaway, two reasons. First of all, now it's raised to Rauta 20K, meaning we are only about 200 subscriber away from 20,000 subscribers, which is, of course, a milestone. I mean, people love round numbers, me included. Whenever people are talking about tens or thousands or whatever, yeah, they are to be celebrated. So, raise to 20,000 giveaways here, meaning I'm gonna give you one album during the stream. And it goes like this. Whenever I'm done with the first beer, by the way, there is more than this. Let's just open the can. Whenever I'm done with the beer, before I'm getting a new one, I'm gonna do this giveaway. So eyes and ears peeled. And this album is Baratrum Überkill, 10th album by this old school Finnish black metal band. As you can see, this is still in wraps. Now, the second reason why I'm giving this fresh album, which came out just this week, 2 days ago, is that the band was kind enough to send me a copy for review. Actually, it's a gear player who wanted to make sure that I get copy early enough so I can review it. What the band didn't know, what I didn't know, was that the label had already sent me Baratrum copy and one other album, which will be reviewed later on. I mean, I have reviewed it, but the video is up there. So I have two Baratrum copies. One I got for review, and I said, I'm going to give this other one away because you people deserve it. You who join Rauta and follow the streams and all that stuff. So let's celebrate Baratrum with this giveaway. To be honest, originally I was going to give this in my Baratrum retrospective videos, but to be honest, giveaways make so much more sense on streams. So I decided to do it today because, like I said, the album has been out only a couple of days. It's very very fresh from the oven. If you haven't heard it, it's a good one. My review is already out there. You know what more about it, and of course, you might have not even bought it yet because it's so fresh from the oven. So this one will be given away after I've done my first beer. I don't know how much time it's gonna take, so make your wild guess. I would say 30 minutes, maybe 45. I'm a slow drinker, especially during the streams. So Arbarre, yes, it's a new Baratrom album, Uberkill. In my opinion, probably the best Baratrom album so far. Hello, Rob Hellfire. Nice to have you here. And Nocturne, nice to have you also here. Finwraith. Good question. Am I going to celebrate Halloween? Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of Halloween family time here. That's our tradition, if you will, meaning that you usually have Halloween themed food, some costumes, and all that stuff. My daughter really, really loves Halloween. I don't know if she loves it even more than Christmas. For me, Halloween is a cool party. I mean, after all, we all metal people. We kind of more or less we kind of like horror themes and other stuff, which is very very fitting with the Halloweens. Now, I've never been a big horror movie fan because most horror movies just bore the shit out of me. But I'm not gonna deny I do like how the Halloween themes are. Whether we're talking about the music from the movie, yeah, well, fucking great. But I mean, seriously, the pumpkins, they look scary and they look really cool. Spider webs, all that stuff coming from the Halloween settings, but especially the pumpkins when you carve them out, make them into massive candles and all that stuff, costumes, whatever. Yeah, Halloween is cool in my opinion. Some people, of course, are gonna say it's overly commercialized, like what isn't these days. But to be honest, I don't mind. Like I often buy some Halloween themed um, delicacies like candies and whatnot when it's time for that. I mean, for example, the local little supermarket already when I was buying groceries today, they already had like spider web LED lightnings which you can put on the window. Hello, camera zoom out. They had already Halloween, potato chips, the ones that look like bat or wake up, wake up, wake up. Sometimes this zoom just loses it. So, yeah, there are like different kind of candies, like those plastic skulls filled with candies, chocolate bars, whatever. Same thing with these kind of plastic pumpkin ones. Some are candles, shit like that. Yeah, I think Halloween is nice, and I don't mind if it's being commercialized because it doesn't really mean anything holy or unholy for me. It's just the kind of old times celebration. The harvest is done, and people are like celebrating it. So why the fuck not? Eat good food and be with friends, family, whatever. Well, Halloween themed metal music. Well, obviously, I am thinking first the band Halloween from Germany, but I don't know if their music is that much Halloween. I think the closest I can think of, would be all those horror metal bands, like maybe Denial of God, maybe to a degree, the King Diamond, Merciful Fate stuff. But I don't know if they are themed after Halloween. I mean, traditionally, Halloween is, of course, about, harvesting. So kind of makes no sense. Hey, let's have this harvest metal band. Let's celebrate that, all the all the stuff from the fields and apple trees are like collected, gathered, whatever. So kind of makes sense. But if you think about the witches and the haunted houses and whatnot, yeah, it makes sense. But to be honest, they per se are not that much about Halloween. At least if you ask me. But I mean, different strokes for different folks, and it comes from goes from country to country and all that stuff. Um, so Samhain or is Halloween is an official holiday. I mean, we're not getting I think bank holiday that is. We don't get our days off. But nowadays, of course, people throw parties. Even like metal bars could have like costume party for Halloween. So technically speaking, while it's not that much of a celebrated like officially, like most people don't probably give a shit. A lot of places are doing something Halloween themed, like for example, local metal bar, Risky Bar, where I've been going for more than 20 years now. They have had costume parties during Halloween weekend where people just wear makeup, looking like vampires or zombies or whatever, and throw costumes and all. So yeah, but it's not that official because of course Halloween is basically the All Hallows Eve, and in Finland it means basically the kind of a dead people remembrance day or whatever. So basically it's the one that elderly people probably go for the graves and put some flowers, candles, whatever, right there. So more in that sense, kind of a Christian party, even though the roots of Halloween is very, very pagan. Once again, related to harvesting stuff. So there's so many different ways to, see or celebrate Halloween. So I guess it goes for from party to party, people to people, family to family, and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I said, in my opinion, it's a cool and very, very metallic party or celebration because of these obvious horror themes: the bats, the pumpkins, the spider webs, in general, and of course, Hollywood has affected how Halloween can be seen. Classic horror movies, the slasher movies, Halloween movies. So there's that. There is this metal connection, in my opinion. So John Blake is saying that he has a Grogu decoration for Halloween. That sounds fun. I mean, if you're into Star Wars much like me, yeah, you're gonna like it. Yeah, Finn Wraith. I mean, it makes totally sense that people do horror stories rather than watching movies. Makes sense, totally. American Werewolf in London for the first time. Congratulations, John Blake. I was a small kid when I saw the movie. Uh, Probably around 10 years of age when I saw the American Werewolf in London. And man, it was so horrible. I don't mean the quality of the movie. I mean, it was horrifying. I was scared shitless. As a small kid, it was so brutal, so full of horror. When I saw it as an adult, yeah, I kind of understood why some people say it's horror comedy. But when I was kid, it was very, very fucking terrifying movie. So yeah, very, very fitting for Halloween theme, so to say, or just in general, these dark evenings. I mean, I could show you outside if I would just, shut down the lights and I could show you how dark it is already out there because living on an island in a countryside, there's nothing outside to be seen. It's just pure darkness. So consider me blessed. This is very, very inspiring. Actually, today I had this conversation with an older guy at the gym, and he was asking me if I miss Spain now that it's dark and getting colder and all. And I was like, no. I mean, we lived in Spain for about 6 months last year, and of course, while the weather was so much better and it was warmer and all that stuff, this kind of weather can be really fucking inspiring. I mean, it's dark and the trees are turning red, yellow, orange. And the Halloween feeling in that way is right there. And, things are really kind of a dark and moist. So it's this October rust thing going on. I don't think it's that much romantic, but that is because I'm not really a romantic person. But yeah, I mean, we went, for a walk in the forest today with dogs, the kind of a family thing where we're picking up mushrooms and, just feeling the moist forest. And it was nice because, the weather is still nice. It's relatively warm given that we're midway October and things can really get very messy and shitty in a matter of weeks, meaning it can get snowy and it just gets darker and more annoying in terms of weather. But now it's good time and this can be really inspiring. I mean, grab your guitar and start writing black metal riffs or other kind of riffs, death metal too. So in my opinion, this kind of a season before winter finally sets in, Halloween and all these basically September through November can be really, really inspiring. I mean, a perfect time to write lyrics. The whole Twilight of the Gods theme is right there. You're kind of a closing in with death, and winter, if is of course the season of the dead. So metaphorically speaking, fall is pretty much like the twilight of the gods kind of a era. I mean, because it's kind of a like getting older, retire, ready to die, and winter is when that happens, obviously. But yeah, it kind of can be romantic, but it kind of can be really, really like sad and bleak and miserable and shit like that. But this is me rambling around autumn. Um, Tato Owinen is asking if I'm the same guy being mentioned in the booklets of Agalok's The Mandal. Well, yeah, I met Agalok guy John, late 90s. To be honest, I didn't know I was credited in the booklet. What does it say? There's only one Jerry Kurunen and it's me. Yeah. So there is that. Never realized I was credited there. I indeed. I met John through a very good friend of mine, Jussi, happens to be the promoter for Metalli Helvetti in Turku Saatanalla Fest and so forth. And we spent some time. This must have been, I'm thinking, probably 1998. 98, I'm thinking. Might be 97, 99, but most likely 98. And John spent some time, John from Agalok, that is. He spent some time in Finland. I think he was, sleeping at Jussi's place, and we spent some time together. He introduced me to John. We visited, for example, a pet cemetery, and I don't think we did anything too goofy. Just good times, good talks, and all that stuff. But then years passed, and I really wasn't in touch with John. But it was like let me think, 2019 or so, when Cannibal Corpse were playing in my home city, and I was there to do interview with Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Vomit. Morbid Vomit was the local Finnish opening act, the warm-up act, and then there was this other band, can't really think of its name right now, and I ended up meeting John there. It was John's new band, while Agalok was back then more or less disbanded. So I was like suddenly like, what the hell? What the fuck are you doing here? Nice to see you after whatever 18 years or so. We were talking about how life goes on, has taken us into different places, and it turned out that he was the band. He was in the band, touring with Cannibal Corpse, basically being their warm up band, on the tour. So small world. But yeah, it was really, really nice to see him after so many years. And now Agalog is back, and I hope to meet John again on the road somewhere. maybe, hopefully, doing a Gallock interview at some place. That would be fucking great. But never know. But yeah, there's a story. But like I said, I didn't know I was credited in the booklet. So I'm curious what was being said about me because while we had some good time, it's not like I don't feel I gave anything to Agalok because, you know, we were just guys of metal having good time and all. Hello, Tiako. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you always here. Yep, Royal Hellfire, that makes sense what you talk about Celtic holiday, about celebrating the harvest and honoring the dead. In Finland, we don't, in my opinion, so much celebrate the harvest here. I think it's kind of a too late because Nordic countries and all, but yeah, it's the honoring the dead part. And that is, I don't know how it's like literally translated, but something like uh, holiday for the dead people or something like that. So yeah, there is this Finnish thing, but I remember reading originally about Halloween. I think from Scotland, Scottish tradition. But yeah, pagan holiday. Yeah, and Shaun of the Dead, by the way, is very very funny movie indeed. One of the funniest, or the funniest zombie movies of all time. Finneray was asking if I have seen the movie Heavy Race or Heavy Trip. I still haven't, and it was funny because my friend in Norway was asking me about the same thing already, like a couple of times on my trips to Norway, and he was actually asking because he was quoting at the Inferno Fest certain parts of the movie, one of the musicians, and I'm like, man, it's weird that I haven't seen it, and it's a Finnish movie, while he in Norway has seen it and found it incredibly funny and entertaining. Yeah, I guess I should see it at some point, but yeah. And I know the sequel is coming out. Let's hope it's gonna be a successful movie. Also, hello Lex from California. Welcome to the stream. Long time no see. Remember your name, of course. Herderd is asking if I'm coming to Steelfest. Yeah, I'm happy with the lineup. I've already made the video about it. And the funny thing is, I'm gonna play there, at Steelfest with my own band, Nightside. So I have double duty as a Rauta to do interviews and all, and of course perform there with my own band. So yeah, I will be there at Steelfest 2025. Yeah, picking mushrooms and snowfall sounds like a Moomin story I want to read. And Nocturne, yeah, probably not picking up mushrooms while it's snowing. Um, Nocturne is asking if Jerry is shortened version of another Finnish name. No, Jerry is just Jerry. My second name is James, so it's funny. Jerry James. There is nothing, absolutely nothing Finnish in my name. And the irony is that my parents, my mom, my dad, they don't even speak English. So it's weird that they gave me English names, and there are various theories about it. One is referring to Jerry Cotton, a famous secret agent in the 1970s, probably inspiring me to get my first name, Jerry Cotton. And of course, James Bond was very, very famous character already in the 70s. But there was also joking that James was a character in various British series, like some kind of a servant or not clerk, but uh, kind of a helping man. So there was a joke that James is because of that. So yeah, no Finnish relation to my name. Hello, Lucas. Nice to have you here. Cecilia Taylor, welcome also. And Brian Mons, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I heard that. I don't think Graveland is gonna play there, nor Drug, but let's keep our Thumbs up for Nocturnal Mortem. Yeah, Cecilia, we don't care about the likes. Doesn't matter if you like the stream or not. Anyway, people, once again, I need to remind you something. First of all, if you want to catch my attention, make sure that I actually see your question or comment. Tag me like this, Rauta, tag like this. And I will see that in colors. So if you want to make sure you get my attention, I get your you get my attention, tag me. It will be so much easier to see which comments are directed to me, especially when I'm rambling on with longer um, answers. And another thing I want to remind you of, if you want to support Rauda, of course, that is just like, I don't know, up to you. I will give you direct uh, link to the PayPal. If you want to donate some money, you can donate, like, I don't know, €1 or whatever, or as much as you want if you want to. So I'm gonna put it here. That link, you can use PayPal to donate. Like, here is $3 for you, sir, to, I don't know, drink with your cameraman. Seriously, this money is put on the Rauta account for our trips. Thank you so much, Brian Mons. Of course, you can donate through Google's similar system. So whatever you prefer, you want to support Rauta. So thank you so much, Brian Mons. Very, very much thank you for your donation. So don't worry about the amount. We're always thankful for any kind of money, because it helps. Like this money that comes here through YouTube, it goes to the very same thing as the normal YouTube advertising money, meaning my editor who is taking care of the interview editings gets her share of it. And then me and my camera people, when we're traveling some festival to do more interviews, that money is then used for you know accommodation, flights, what have you. Well, that is pretty much how it goes. So thank you so much. And like thirdly, which I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, once I'm done with the first beer of the evening, I will give away this Baratrum Überkill copy to the lucky winner. I don't know how much time it will take for me to finish the first can of beer, but I would say we're done maybe 1/3 of the beer. So it will probably take another 20, 30 minutes when I'm done, and then let's do giveaway before the second beer. James is asking, interested to hear how long have you doing martial arts, MMA, boxing, BJJ, no-gi? My first time when I started martial arts was something like 1991 or so. It was karate and a little bit on the side. What the fuck it was? Kobudo, which was using like bow stick and a little bit something else. We didn't really go to the world of nunchakus or side daggers, but they would be there coming up, if I had been training that harder. But that was only like a few months. Then I had to pretty much choose whether I decide to go with karate or I will keep doing my paperboy career. I mean, on the side, it was only 2 nights a week. Delivering those free newspapers. But I was a greedy man and I wanted money instead of martial arts. So my martial arts career for the first time ended only after a few months. So it restarted in the year 2000 when me and my good friend decided to start Kung Fu. It was a Choi Li Foot Kung Fu, which was full contact, but with boxing gloves and all, and some weapons. I mean, we later on we trained with swords, even bench. The kind of a small miniature bench you would use to, block blows and hit the people with bench. You could like grab one of the four legs and swing. Um, but yeah, it was a full contact kung fu style, which I did for about 4 years. Gained obviously some grades during those years. Um, then there was some kind of a drama in the martial arts. Uh, what do you call it? The club, and I switched to Tang Lang Kung Fu for another 4 years. A lot of ex Charlie Foot guys jumped the ship from Charlie Foot to Tang Lang, and that was even more fierce. That was more like a street style Kung Fu, meaning smaller gloves, and you would train with shoes on because it was supposed to train like you were kicking someone outdoors or training outdoors. And we trained sometimes outdoors, like during winter time. We would have like our fucking snow caps on and gloves and shit, outdoors jackets, winter jackets and all. That took me another 4 years. I was actually co-teaching, a co-instructor. So I was instructing new people into the stuff. At some point I basically got fed up with that martial arts thing ever after something like 8 years. And for a while I did nothing but just jogging and going to the gym. But then something drew me back and I went for Brazilian jiu-jitsu for about a year, a little less. While it was fun and very very technical and a new school of martial arts for me, being a puncher and kicker first and foremost. Then I wanted to get back to what I kind of started with, meaning kicks, punches, whatever. So basically, the standing martial arts, which led me to the world of RBSD, or reality based self defense. Most known discipline in reality based self defense is, of course, Krav Maga. So it was more about self defense in a way that you would just, help to resolve a fight or defend yourself. That style was defendo, and I did that for a few years, and also was one of the instructor at some point. But there was another set of drama in our defendo club, meaning some people were fighting about money and shit, and they were like, "Okay, not gonna have it. I don't want any kind of a drama. I don't need it. I just want to train." So I was doing some no gi grappling on the side for a bit, but because it was the same club that had the Defendo, it all shut down. Luckily, I had met another more martial arts people of various styles, and we went for Senshido, which is more of a concept rather than technical style. And by technical style or discipline, I mean karate, judo, Defendo, Krav Maga, whatever. So Shinshito was suddenly like more like a concept, free form that pick anything that works for you. If you like to punch, how to kickboxers do, pick that one. If you wanna learn how to kick like I don't know, thigh boxers, take that. If you wanna learn your ground game like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or no gi, people do that. If you want to throw people like judo, learn to do that. So once again, Shinchido was more about freeform and self-defense, and we kind of adapted into that very much more freeform and even more reality based than say Defendo and a little bit of Krav Maga. I learned because it was just basically you can do anything in order to survive or defend yourself, meaning even biting, spitting, whatever, like just not mandatory, hits and punch and whatever. You can just use all the tools. If you need to put your fingers into someone's eye sockets to make the person go away, leave you alone, and all that stuff, then you can do it. So basically, anything that goes, whatever can be your tools of, like elbows or, of course, punches, open palm, headbutts, just anything really, really. And later on, we incorporated some knife fighting styles like Piper and Libre, which is more about harming people. But in order to learn more about self-defense, you of course need to know how to attack. So you figure it out. So there's a knife. Well, I actually have a knife here. If this makes more sense. So we had this kind of a knife thingy. You would like go flinching like big back and forth with your uh, hands. So like a little bit of a like punch somebody in the face, and then you basically put there your style. So it was more like using your hands in various angles, like how to punch someone in the face with your knife, and not the traditional kind of a style. So it was more about like okay, you go like this, you go like that, you go like whatever angle. So we did a little bit of that, the Piper and Libre style about using knives. But then COVID came and everything was in lockdown, and we went on lockdown on early 2020, and we're supposed to, of course, come back, whenever the lockdown was gone. But during lockdown years, people went on and on, meaning that when things were over with lockdown and COVID stuff and all that stuff, suddenly, people had moved on with their lives, and basically our small group of people doing martial arts, the self-defense that is, everybody was busy with something else. So only recently, a few weeks ago, we gathered for the first time with our self-defense instructors to train, and we're supposed to train a couple of weeks ago, but people were just once again too busy last week, and same thing. I don't know if tomorrow we will have self-defense, but yeah. So that was a long reply to your questions about my martial arts background, but I wanted to show whatever was included. I'm probably missing something, but basically from 2000 to 2020, I was pretty much most of the time training some kind of martial arts, whether it was grappling or hitting and punching or just self-defense. There were a lot of variations, and now I hope after 4 years of break we're training again. But yeah, feels a little bit rusty, of course, after so many years not doing anything but lifting weights. So I'm not as fast as I used to be. Probably a lot of rustiness in techniques and all that stuff. But yeah, then again, you don't really forget that stuff too much. Yeah, Nocturne, you're welcome about the story. I'm glad if I can share some interesting anecdotes or stories throughout the years. And when John Blake said about exploring abandoned buildings, that's actually very, very interesting. Oh, someone donated money, by the way. Thank you, Jan R. Thank you for your donation, by the way. Thank you so much. This is helping Rauta to build a little bit of budget, which means doing more interviews. I will talk about that a little bit later because I have some news which are not necessarily good news, but not bad either. Anyway, Rob Hellfire, by the way, both versions are okay, Celtic and Celtic. People use both ways. Both are accepted in Merriam-Webster. I've checked out because at some point I was wondering why certain people say Celtic frost and some other people say Celtic frost. And it seems both are fine. So it's not one or the other. Both are okay. Nocturne is asking, what is the Finnish word for pigeon? Would I please type it in the chat? So sure, it's pulu. Yeah, funny word in my opinion. Um, 11 is asking my thoughts on the bad ghost path. Well, I don't have an opinion about it. I never listened to it, and I don't even know if there is something to talk about. Hello, Gabriel. Welcome to the stream. Nocturne is asking, do I recommend obese men begin training MMA? No need to lose weight first. You can just start doing it and lose weight in the process. In my opinion, there's no reason why not to start, learning right away. Of course, it helps if you get to lose overweight, but in my opinion, it's a process that actually takes care of itself. So, yeah. Yeah, Mothibi, I can imagine that it can be kind of, putting you down if smaller ladies are making you tap all the time. But that's part of the process, what you learn with martial arts. It can be really, really humbling. That's one of the things what I really like about martial arts and lifting weights, that it can really be humbling experience. You might go there as a cocky person, like, I don't know, I know my shit, I am strong, I am fast, and whatever. And there will be always someone better, like showing you how it goes. So there's that. What else? Hello, 30-second life hacks, Stuttgart. My pleasure. If you like the interviews, welcome. Cannibal Ritual is asking if I'm fan of old martial art flicks. Yes, very much so. Actually, when I started, doing martial arts, it's just kind of a sparked my interest for, old kung fu movies and all that stuff, and even newer ones. Like I showed you in one of my recent videos about my own record collection. I have like soundtracks to like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, of all the martial arts movies in the world, I prefer the old kung fu movies the most. There's just something really, really good fantasy feeling to it. But also the newer ones like Hero, Crouching Tiger, whatever. Yeah, Nocturne. I could post videos about RBSD later on, and I was actually supposed to talk to my colleagues, the other instructors, about RBSD. Like we could feature that on Rauta as well, because it would be nice to show that side. A lot of people don't know that my martial arts background is more extensive than my lifting weights. But I mean, that's because you rarely take so much footage, video and all, about that versus, lifting weights. So there's that. My Trashy Life. No, I haven't heard the new Storm Reaper, Scum Reaper album yet. Storm Reaper, that sounds like a band name to be used. Greetings from South Texas, Amado. Nice to have some Texan people here. Good memories from Texas. Uh, yeah, that's a good question. Do mosh pits get gnarly or in that part of the world? To be honest, what I've heard is that American mosh pits are way more violent or aggressive than in Finland, and it seems other parts in Europe. Maybe we are not that much into physical contact than our American counterparts. Uh, you know, I've seen some people getting somewhat violent in mosh pits, but not like American, what I've been told. And this was told by a person from Canada a few years ago. She was a avid Rauta follower and explained when she visited Finland for one of the Black Belt shows, like people are so much more calm and not so much violent or aggressive here than in Canada. So like, okay, didn't know about that, but I mean, I can believe it because these are relatively calm mosh pits in a way. James, yeah, my pleasure explaining the background. Of course, you made a good question, and I think you deserved a good explanation and response. Um, yeah, I hope that we get to have back that our reality-based self-defense thing going on, because before COVID, we actually did some self-defense seminars for women, especially. How to protect yourself from attackers, assailants like rapists or domestic violence. And if a guy like my size and physical strength and all attacks someone, of course the female is going to be overpowered, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be, like useless or powerless. Of course, you can be a small gal and you're still able to defend yourself. And so much, all this, how to say, power comes from, will. When you have willpower, when you have the kind of a mindset that you're gonna bite back, that means so much more than sheer physical power, especially if the assailant is not, ready, that you know the victim is gonna fight back. That is very very much something that people don't, in my opinion, in my experience, they don't really teach that enough. That what comes from your mind, being confident and being willing to defend yourself or to your loved ones, that counts for so much more than physical strength or even skill. Of course it helps when you're fit, when you're strong, when you're quick, and when you know your skills. I mean, of course, it helps. So whatever is your discipline, it helps. I've had many times, even at Steelfest, these debates, which kind of discipline is the best for self-defense, because some people are saying like Brazilian jiu-jitsu is the best because they learn you they teach you so much different things. You get to learn from the ground game and all. But I say it's fucked, because if there is more than one assailant, if you're grappling someone uh, on the street and you're doing your ground game, and there comes the so-called plus one, meaning another attacker. What are you gonna do when you're just grappling someone on the ground? Because the other one guy could like kick you in the head or whatever, and you're in the ground. It's not like you can just run away and like fuck off. There are two of you. I'm just gonna take a hike. So yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, nogi, grappling, and all that stuff is very very useful if you have one opponent. I mean, it can be really really just like dominating your opponent. But when we talk about street fights, there might be shattered glass or rocks and small stones, really like edgy. You could just hurt your head. You're not doing that in tatami. You're not on a fucking dojo. Like, hey, everything is like nicely lighted and there's a soft ground and it's easy, one opponent at a time. Things are very fucking different when you're on the street. You can just hurt yourself just because you're grappling on a fucking asphalt. And like I said, if there is more, like what if you're against three different people? You're grappling only one, and the rest of you are like not gonna ground and pound you to death. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best thing. The best thing is get the fuck out before it gets, physical and close combat. Because when the bullets, metaphorically speaking, starts flying, you're gonna be fucked anyway. So the risk goes higher and higher the longer you are in physical contact. You might be overpowering someone and then just someone throws the fucking lucky punch. You go down. Maybe you just, slip off your feet and you go down and hit your head on the ground on the asphalt and start bleeding. Game over, man. So first things first. I think one of the best self-defense things I've learned throughout the years is speaking, being peaceful. Like speak yourself out of the situation before it ends in physical violence. And don't provoke people. Don't make them trigger. So if you're offending someone, it's like, what the fuck you just said? I'm gonna fucking punch your teeth in. Like, hey, oh, sorry. No offense, man. I apologize. Maybe can I offer you a beer? Buying a beer to someone who is very likely to punch you in the face is probably a lot cheaper than, paying for the person if you manage to hurt that person, or if they knock your some teeth out, or I don't know, other possibilities. Rather lose a wallet than, um, serve a lifetime in sentence. I'm just saying there are lots of good books and lots of good instructors out in the world explaining that if someone stares down your women and like, oh, I'm gonna grab that ass, it's not worth dying for. Just live another day, learn from Musashi and all. There are other ways to cope than physical violence. Physical violence can be a really, really horrible thing. And the people who haven't been in physical contact, in physical fights, and all that stuff don't necessarily realize how much one fucking punch can really, do. So, yep, physical violence, horrible, horrible thing. I mean, it's hard to understand it based on movies. If you watch movies, violence looks fun. But let's be honest about it. Sometimes all you need is one punch and it's game over. And that it is. Her dude is asking my max bench press. Well, I've never been able to lift more than 120 kilos. I'm quite weak in bench press. So 120 kilos has been my max. Hopefully it will be better some days, but who knows? I'm getting older, not necessarily stronger. Seth is asking, have I been ever interested into occult? Well, yeah. In the 90s, I was more interested in that, but my more skeptical nature has always kind of put me like, I don't need to learn the names of demons or weird spells which I don't believe are going to work. So I kind of lost my interest in the occult after a while, so to say. Gabriel is asking, do I have top 3 favorite black metal bands? I really haven't, been thinking of ranking my favorite black metal bands because it's kind of a trick question. For example, Darkthrone is my all-time black metal favorite, but they have also done very, very boring albums lately. But they still are the only black metal band that, in my books, have done 10 out of 10 albums, Under a Funeral Moon and Transylvanian Hunger. So Darkthrone would be my number 1 black metal band. But in a way, I also consider bands like Bathory being superior, but not so much because just pure black metal, but because, albums like Bloodfire Death and moving on later to the Viking metal stuff. So if that counts, Bathory would be very, very high on my list. But then it gets trickier because, like, I like Arcanum a lot, but somehow, and even though they never failed me, I cannot really consider would they be in like top 3. So I don't know. The third spot would be hard to fill because they are good contenders. Like, say, and now I really need to. In a way, I kind of want to say Mayhem, but then again, I only really, really like one Mayhem album a lot. And I could even say, Graveland, because early Graveland is fucking awesome. Satanic War Master. But really, I didn't know. Top 3. Probably it would change from day to day. Old Satyricon is fucking great. Nowadays, not so much. So the 3. Sorry, really hard to say. Hello, Reina Aria Satanica Vampirica. That is a very royal name. Satanic Vampire Queen or something. Yes, Gyrolamp. This is the dildo disco ball. It's not so much in the background. It's actually front of things. Yes, Gyrolamp. I heard that the vocalist from Brujeria died pretty soon after I made my retrospective video. Unfortunately, so. I pretty much went through Brujeria's music in my Brujeria retrospective. So if you want to know more of my take of the true history and style of the band, I would recommend you to check it out. But I did like the band live and I like their music. Cannibal Ritual is talking about Wuxia genre, also known as the Chinese martial arts. Yes, it's wonderful on TV. So, yeah, I haven't even seen Lady Hermit. At least I don't know the name like that, but sometimes I might have heard like the Chinese name. And the Bells of Death, sorry, can't say I know them, but I probably should. I've kind of a fall off the wagon recent years in terms of all those old martial arts movies. But I remember liking the like drunken master movies, for example, by Jackie Chan, old Jet Li movies, and beyond their times, obviously. What else? Yeah, I know that Rob Hellfire was previously commenting about me mispronouncing things. Uh, don't get autistic with that because people in various countries, of course, pronounce things that were different. I'll give a good example. I was traumatized back in the days when Swedish people would pronounce G like giants, a very soft way. Like they would say giants. They would say my name Jerry, not Jerry. I often, fail to pronounce my name right. I remember back in the days when I was traveling to New York for the second time, and I was getting this kind of a bus or whatever from the airport, airport shuttle bus or something to the city centrum, and this clerk was asking my name, and I was it's Cherry, and I said Cherry, and he would be writing down like Cherry, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I cannot even pronounce my own name right. But yeah, it is what it is. And I don't even have the typical Finnish accent. I mean, if you want to have a typical Finnish accent, check out the Archcode interview. You know what I'm talking about. And Nagelfar Vitra, by the way, a good band with a good album from Sweden. Thank you so much for your donation. So, Virginia, thank you so much, Nagelfar. Pretty interesting that you decided to go very Swedish with your username. I remember liking Vitra album actually quite a lot back in the 90s. But yeah, thank you so much for donation. This money will be, like said, used for Rauta trips to festivals and all that stuff. So donations, very welcome. They help me and my cameraman to bring you more interviews because, like I said, traveling costs. All right, answering your more questions. I'm reading here. Oh fuck, man, Nocturna. That sounds like a horrible thing. Rough town, and you were almost abducted by human traffickers. Fuck, that is horrible story. I'm glad you survived, but fuck, that sounds horrible. Yeah, speaking out of situation is very very important tool for learn for big guys and small guys alike, and nothing to do with the gender. 11 is asking, what do I think about cold showers? I hate them, but I do know that they do good for blood circulation. So I don't know how they work with depression or anxiety. Might help. I don't know. Um, Cannibal Ritual is asking, what are the some albums by bands of notoriety that may be forgotten or disregarded that you happen to love, like Gorgor's Destroyer? Well, what I really call a Rauta paradox is that some people say certain albums are underrated, and some other people are going to say they are overrated. I mean, we could talk about as much as like Metallica's or Bathory or whatever, and you could hear certain people say they're underrated. Nobody shares them enough love, and then some other one will be, no, it's overrated. That's bullshit. So, forgotten or disregarded. Well, I think there are plenty of those bands that you could say, like, hey, why don't you listen to this or that? Armageddon from Sweden is a good example. Like, very, very Darkthronian in their style, but often kind of forgotten. But then again, it was never a band that would, tour like Satyricon or whatever. So there are lots of these albums. Um, Gorgon Destroyer, I remember back in the days, it was pretty much dividing people into different camps because suddenly there was a new vocalist and the style was somewhat, you know, new. But then again, I remember it getting quite a bit of love back in the days because after all, it was Gorgor's album and a good one, even if not good as the previous ones. But there are plenty of those albums. Like certain bands are just forgotten because nobody talks about them. Like French bands Nehemah. I never, I mean, after they were released back in the days, I never remember people talking about Nehemah. While it's a good band. So there are those bands. I think Dead Spell Omega's early albums often disregarded when people just focus on the more modern dissonant style. So there's that. All right, let's go further down the list of questions. Yeah, Ritual Butcher's Finglish is perfect. I think it's really good. I think it's really giving this Finnish vibe. Whereas I'm my accent is a fucking weird mess of styles. Some say I sound like American, but then again, I know that for American ear, I don't really sound American. Then again, I also know that I don't really sound like a Finnish accent. And someone was pitching like, Rauta's accent is so goddamn fucking annoying. What can I do? I could change my accent, maybe talk about more Italian ways, or maybe well, like go Russian style. Maybe I will be more Polish or something from Eastern European. But I mean, what can you fucking do about it? Your accent is what it is, and it's not gonna change. So for example, as long as I live in Finland, obviously my style of speaking English is not gonna change for more American or British for that matter. So whatever you'd like to hear is just out of your hands, out of your reach anyway. So there it is. Thank you, Gabriel, for your comment about awesome musical taste. I don't know, my musical taste is just mine, and I don't, assume that people would, agree. I mean, mine is mine. What can you do, really? But yeah, not the first is cool, and yeah, he has been gotten so much better between the two Carpeted Forest interviews I did from 2017 and the one last year. And yeah, let's hope that Brangsin is doing better. I actually met not the first this year at the Inferno. We had some good talks. So yeah, he's a nice dude and no rockstar bullshit at all. Yes, Cherry here. I actually got. I was thinking if I wear them. I actually got a Cherry socks as a gift because it was this old joke that when I met my Australian friend, also she called me Cherry because I'm kind of lazy, Jerry. Just doesn't come naturally. So I'm just Cherry or Rauta, whatever. Or Jerry, like we would say my name in Finnish. Spectre side, thank you for your comment about the channel. I'm happy that you find the channel likable. Uh yeah. I have actually posted some photo on somewhere on my account, Instagram or Facebook, where I had long hair. I had like old Bell Nazarene or even Metallica shirt. There was this old photo of mine where I was like something like 17 and I had my Metallica's Unforgiven shirt on. I'm such a fucking baby face. So yeah. And Slayer, yeah, old Nehemiah. I'm actually looking forward to listen to a lot of my old albums, which I haven't been listening to for years. When I go in my record collection, in alphabetical order, currently in letter D, and it was so fun to listen to bands like Dead to This World and Dead with a question mark. I mean, they were good albums and as such. it was nice to see that they are still good. You know. Hello, Timpa. What are you doing? Yes, of course, I'm up here drinking the beer. And, by the way, I promised to do the giveaway when my first beer is done. And now we have been doing this stream for already almost 65 minutes. And I still have so much beer. Let's do the giveaway soon. Oh, New York. Oh, only New York is one of my favorite cities on earth. I mean, Nocturne, different people hear different things. Like Rob already mentioned that he feels like I say certain words in a weird way. But even I know, even in America, people say different things in different ways. So being from Texas or being from, I don't know, Alaska maybe, or Washington State, uh, or something up northeast, people pronounce different things different ways. So yeah, I don't know how I ended up shouting Jerry instead of Jerry. So where it is, but yeah. Martti, I haven't seen Martti yet today. Martti's been goner since Helsinki Metal Fest. Naglfar is asking, what is my opinion about Order of Nosferat? Um, to be honest, I find it weaker than Sarkrista. Order of Nosferat is a little bit too soft for my black metal take. It almost seems like it has Sarkrista leftover riffs, but that's just my opinion. It's not a weak band, but Sarkrista is just better. And no news about New Selfdefense in an album, but I know he has been making a lot of songs. He made most songs on the new Baratrum album as well. And I know that New Selfdefense in an album is happening anyway. So I think it's mostly written already. But news like when it's gonna get out, no idea. Maybe next year. Um, Oh, Gyro Lamb, thanks for the comment regarding Rinder Philith. Yeah, I think we had good chemistry. It was really nice to meet those guys. The funny thing is that I met one of the guys at one of the breakfast sessions. We were picking stuff at the breakfast buffet, and the one guy came to greet to me, and I had no fucking idea who it was. Only later on, I would find out, oh, he's one of the guys from Winterfell. He seems like a nice guy, but we have barely changed words. And then this Winterfell interview just happened very, very spontaneously. We hadn't really planned like before the festival. Like I keep sending emails to bands like where to interview which band and all that stuff. So this was more like, hey, guys, before you leave home, how about we do interview on the last day? I mean, actually, it was like the next morning or so, and they were like, cool, let's do it. And yeah, we had a good chemistry. They're really, really nice, likable guys, no rockstar bullshit. So I think that's why they liked me, if they did. Because we had really, really nice talks with them, and I always like to, put some humor in my conversations. I want to make that people are like, they can be carefree, comfortable. They don't have to pretend or have a role. They can just talk to me, just random Finnish bald metalhead, Jerry. So there is no need to do some kind of a role or a script or I don't know, whatever. So yeah, I want to make it relaxed, laid back, and I'm glad that they liked the interview I did with them. And if they find I'm a funny guy, hey, the better. Uh, yeah, because I like when people can be funny and relaxed. So there's that. Nocturno, it's good that you're babyface, meaning when you're 50, you can still bang those babes who are 30, right? Oh yeah. This is a Mikkeller, Danish brewery making good beer. When I was subscribing to their beer mail a few years ago, which would mean they would send 9 beers a month. This came in one of those boxes. So this is real beer glass for drinking craft beers. And in case people are wondering what I'm drinking, before the dawn, 4:20 p.m. American Pale Ale by there we go, Masis Brewery, and they are metalheads brewing beer, and they have been giving me some beers to drink here. Oh, what else? What do I think about Mikko Aspa? Well, first of all, Mikko Aspa released our 7-inch back in 2000s, or was it 99? We go back a long way. Nightside is proud. My band Nightside is, I think it's very, very, proud that we were Mikko Aspa's label, Northern Heritage 002, meaning that we were the first release after the debut album of Clandestine Blaze. So we have always been in good terms. Aspa also released my other band's Annihilatus music on Northern Heritage. So yeah, my both bands have been releasing music through Northern Heritage. And me and Mikko Aspa have always been getting along fine. I think he's a smart guy, very true to metal scene, no bullshit, no posing, no wannabe things. He does his own stuff, be it music, being a record store, mail order, uh, own bands, of course, and even comic books. And he's a solid guy. You don't necessarily agree with everything he says about the world, like be it politics or whatever, but then again, I don't think there are people who just agree about everything with you. So, you know, different strokes for different folks, really. But yeah, I know Mikko Aspa personally. I've known him since, I don't know, 98, 99, something like that. Yeah, Northbound, very well remembered. Primitive Finland compilation from Northern Heritage, where there is a photo of me having long hair. I think I was wearing a Destroyer 666 shirt on the photo. But yeah, this is the one is asking about the band Strugoi. I don't think I know the Strugoi. Unless you mean Strigoi with an I. Rewinding for losers is asking what's my favorite band from Finland. I think if we're talking about black metal, it could be Satanic Warmaster. If you're talking about death metal, I would say Torture Killer. If we're talking about heavy metal, I would say Heavy Saurus. If we're talking about some other metal bands besides the given genres, I would say Nightwish. What would be my all-time favorite Finnish black metal? Sorry, metal band. I don't know. Hard to say for sure. But those names I just mentioned are very high on my list for all time. Papagis is asking, do I like Thai Katalfaki, I think it's named. No, really, it's too experimental, too artsy for me. I tried to listen to a few albums by them, but no, it's just too avant-garde-ish for my taste. Um, have I been in contact with the Behexen guys? Well, yeah, I have been talking to them not regularly, but often at fests and sometimes on Facebook. The two main guys of the band, they are longtime friends of mine. So yeah, every now and then we talk. Hello, Jeroen. Welcome to the stream. And now we're soon ready to do the giveaway. Well, Naglfar, I've reviewed the first two White Rune albums when Sielunvihollinen guy sent them to me for review. While I think they are pretty good, I would say they are not as good as Sielunvihollinen, but of course they're a little bit different. Yeah, Gabriel, you definitely should have. One thing you people need to learn about Rauta stream. I'm gonna have beer or whiskey, so should you. So always get your beers ready when joining Rauta stream. I always keep a bottle of good whiskey just by myself. And if in ways you're wondering what is good whiskey, some good Scotch whiskey, like here, like a Bullen, 16 years old. So if you ever hear me talking, saying something like, "Man, I wish I could get some nice 16 years older," I'm not talking about the gals. I'm talking about whiskey. So yes, I do love whiskey, smoky, peaty, whatever. Um, yes, and talking about White Rune, I indeed reviewed them already months and months ago. Was it already last year? Oh, Slayer, you might have been Katharsis shirt on that primitive Finland collection. I don't really, to be honest, remember for sure. I still have the Katharsis shirt with the demon in the background and Jesus Christ carrying the cross. That's one of the best black metal bands from Germany ever. Yes, the Desolate one. Yes, Strigoi from UK. That's why I asked, like, if it was with why Strigoi. I wouldn't know it, but of course I know Strigoi from UK because it has Paradise Lost members. Yeah, and it's a good one. Rob Halfire is having tea. Oh man, too bad. RP is asking, what's my favorite war metal band and album? Well, to be honest, I'm not really a war metal fan because I think most war metal bands are glorified death black metal bands, and to be honest, all death metal bands pale in comparison to death metal and black metal. So, to be totally honest, I don't have favorite war metal themes. I often joke that Bolt Thrower is the best war metal stuff because they sing about war, even if it's old school death metal. And Nocturne, I get it. If you're into alcohol, don't drink it. I drink alcohol for two reasons. First of all, it's fucking good. I mean, good beer, good whiskey, good drinks like gin tonic. I fucking love the taste, but of course, it's also relaxing. So there's that. Coca Cola and cigarette. Now that's a low budget thing. Do I enjoy occasional cigar? Yes, sometimes, but rarely. I think the latest cigar which is somewhere here, I don't remember where the fuck I put it. I got from White Death guy at Steelfest. I think it was some. I don't know what the fuck it is. Was supposed to be here on my table. I got it from got it at Steelfest. I think he was when he was working in Ecuador or something. He gave me one. 11 is asking if I like Finnish punk rock. No, I hated Chlamydia when I was a teenager. Nowadays, I find them okay, but nah, I don't really like them. Northbound, and you should totally add Nightside to that list of Finnish black metal bands which you had. You should totally listen to Nightside if you haven't missed it. But I agree, good year so far. Barathrum, True Black Dawn, Ferkyud, Horna, um, some others as well. But I would put my own band on the very fucking list. I kid you not, it's a good one. Yeah, White Dead is good. Okay, time to finish the beer and now get ready for Barathrum. And the question is, who gets the first answer right gets to have this one. Barathrum has, okay, let's make two numbers to make it more interesting. Two questions you need to answer right. The year when Barathrum was founded and how many full albums they have put out, studio albums. So when the band was founded and how many albums they are out, including this one. Go. So then we're gonna do the giveaway. Two numbers. All right, Northbound 1, 1991 and 10 albums indeed. That was a quick one. I don't know why others didn't even react, but that's the right answer. Barathrum was founded in 1991, and I'm currently doing the full discography run, and I'm actually on the album Fanatico, that what I was blasting at the gym today, as well as the Aspera album. So last week I was listening to the first demos while chopping some firewood, then moved on to Hailstorm, and the other albums, Eerie, Infernal, Legion of Perkele, and this week, well, moving on from Legion of Perkele and all. So yeah, it's been fun to revisit Barathrum. One anecdote, I gotta say, I met Demonosova first time in 1995, and we became friends quickly. So it was very, very special for me when Thigh Serpent and Barathrum were playing at Easter Disaster event in my home city. And we, with Nightside, got to warm up for these guys in 1999, Easter, 25 years ago. Feels like fucking ages ago. So yeah, we've been friends with Demonosova since 1995. Cool, dude. All right, the Knuckle Father Vitra is asking that new Mist from the Mountains is the best album for so far. Well, yeah, I do have a different opinion. My review of it will be out by the late of this month, by the end of this month. And yeah, there are good parts on that album, but it's mostly a little bit too soft for me and way too lengthy songs. But yeah, full review is in the video. And anyway, talking about the Northbound, the winner of the album, please send me your email and I will send you this baby as soon as possible. Congratulations to the winner for a giveaway. And don't be scared, people. I have still a few albums here for next few streams. Some more giveaways to be given as Rauta is having to race to 20,000 subscribers. So you might know Rauta is something like 19,800 subscribers at the moment. So we're going to do a little bit of celebration when we hit 20K. But we probably hit 20K before next stream on November. So don't know. But I will be giving away more albums with different streams. So you should be totally aware that more streams, more giveaways. But this was for this particular stream, this one album, because it's so fresh, so new, and so good. Northbound, I'm happy to hear that you have been listening to Nightside as well. Thank you. Oh, sorry to hear, Tia, that you get migraine for smoky ones. The good news for me is that you won't be drinking my smoky ones because you get migraine. So my smoky whiskey is safe from Tia. Oh, Brian Mann's advertisement said happened. Oh, sorry, bad timing. I didn't see. But yeah, Northbound was so quick. I mean, that's why I gave two numbers. First, I was originally going to ask you how many albums Barathrum has out. But then I figured everybody would be typing that number 10 because they probably figured out it already. So I decided like two numbers, and it would take at least a few seconds for people to just come down with the numbers. But only one number came out, and it was so quick. So there it is. But yeah, it pays off to do the homework. And trust me, there will be more albums I will be giving away coming streams, and I will be asking similar simple questions which you can just check out from the band sites or Metal Archives or whatever, but at least take some time. Yes, Lex Beltram, you're unfortunately a few minutes late, but yeah, the correct answer is 1991 and 10 albums. Yeah, Nocturne, by this point, so many people have said that you should be having more subscribers, but Algorithms work in mysterious ways, and I don't do paid advertisement for me to get subscribers. So it's all organic. That's the beauty of it. But yeah, I'm happy with 20K. I mean, of course, it would be great if it was 50K or 100K. But then again, I feel I'm fucking blessed with 20K. Even like 5,000 people, 1,000 people would be fantastic because it's just. I mean, I'd rather take quality over quantity. Let's be honest about it. I'd rather take dedicated 100 people, celebrating metal music than say random 10,000 fans. So, of course, in terms of numbers, more views means more advertising money, meaning a little bit more funding. No denying that. But still, I'd rather meet two great individuals rather than 200, you know, not so cool individuals, so to say. So, what is my opinion of corpse molestation? To be honest, I haven't been really listening to it. I know it's pre-bestial warlust, but for some reason corpse molestation have always dodged me, or I've dodged them. Bestial warlust is kind of fine with their chaotic stuff, but to be honest, never cared too much for that. Whereas Destroyer 666 is a different ball game, and I love the band. But yeah, to be honest, 20K is still a great number in my opinion. And to be honest, Rauta is growing all the time, which means, and this is the good stuff. This is the good news. I promised you some news, good and bad. The good news is Rauta is constantly growing, which means the more money, the added money we get, the more trips we can do. That's the good stuff. Because while we don't do this for money, well, money certainly helps me and my cameraman to move around a little bit, to, go festivals and all that stuff. Because, as you know, traveling costs. So the more costs we have covered, the more interviews we can do. Very fucking simple math. The bad side is, however, because we didn't get any interviews from Helsinki Metal Fests this year anyway, means that we are running out of interviews at the moment temporarily. Last week, Archcode came out. This week, Eggs of Comor came out. And next week, it's going to be And Oceans. And that is the last one for a few weeks, meaning there will be a gap when there are no interviews happening. But I guess you're used to it by now that there are no 52 interviews for 52 weeks, but there are always some weeks without interviews and all. Early November, interesting gig takes place in my home city, so I hope to make a couple of interviews. I've already spoken to guys from Morgal, and they kind of gave me green light. So Morgal interview is likely to happen. There's one other band which hasn't yet confirmed whether or not they will do an interview with me, but most likely, or it is at least very, very likely that they will be doing interviews. So hopefully in November we should have a couple of interviews out. Come December, I had no fucking idea. Come January, more on the sector, no fucking idea. There might be individual gigs here and there where I get to interview some bands, but no idea because there are no festivals at the moment. And as such, we are waiting. And there's one gig um, in early December playing in my home city where I hope to go with my cameraman and I hope to interview the band because it's a band I really fucking love. But whether or not the interview possibility will be there, I don't know. So I don't mention names. So as much as I can tell you is that looking for November should be one or two interviews and nothing sure for December, January, or even February. March, there will be Turku Saatanala Fest, which should mean about four more interviews. But it's always these late months of a given year. Oh, I mean, always November, January, and November, December, January. It's always the time where nothing really fucking happens, and it's kind of a sad because if it was up to me, I would love to bring you interviews every fucking week. But since we are not that big, it's hard to travel and hard to do as that much interviews. So let's hope I will get more interviews. Like people, still, I want to emphasize when you are sending me questions, please have the patience and type my name like that, and it will be highlighted. It's easier for me to see. Otherwise, I will miss some of your questions. Now, if you wonder where I'm going, I'm gonna fetch another beer because this first beer can is empty. Like I said, I would empty it before the bathroom giveaway, and now I need another beer. It's 90 minutes in. Let's have a minute's break. I will take a leak and I will get another beer. See you in a bit. All right, folks. Let me just put a little bit of water in my glass so to get rid of the stain. All right, folks. Back to the game. All righty. So, checking out your comments. The desolated one is asking, what do I think about US band Holder? Well, Holder woman at least has a beautiful hair, if that counts for something. And the music wasn't bad either. Not that much deep into the band's music, but the first album sounded pretty solid. And Nocturne is hitting out, so good time for dinner. And thank you for the participants. Maybe you're already gone, but yeah. Gabriel is asking, do I enjoy grunge rock music like Alice in Chains? Alice in Chains is actually one of grunge band that I really like, and I have a few albums, not few, but like a couple Alice in Chains albums in my collection. I grew up with that stuff in my teenager years because my friends were more into grunge than, metal. So yeah, but I mean, I had back in the days, I had the Pearl Jam debut album and Nirvana's Nevermind, but I didn't like them too much. And an anecdote, which is not directly related to grunge, but worth mentioning, is that my first CD ever was Faith No More's Angel Dust. Let that sink in for a bit. Mothibi is asking if I like Manila Road. That never clicked with me totally. I mean, they have decent stuff, but never clicked in me like, wow. And Brian Moses is wondering whether to go for another beer. The answer is yes. Rotten Punks is coming from Phoenix, Arizona. Nice. Only been once to Arizona. Beautiful, yet barren place. I'm going to pour myself another beer and I'm going to show it to you. This is also from Masis Brewery. It's Kaunis Kuolematon, a Finnish metal band. I guess it's more like gothic doom death or something like that. And here it says Kölniläistyylinen olut, which means like Cologne, the city. Cologne type beer, which means German type of beer. There's more information and, of course, Masis Brewery logo. And Zoom is not going to read that stuff. And I'm not able to read it anyway here. So let's figure it out. If the Zoom is actually... Oh, it's struggling. can it work? It can you be able? Oh fuck! It's kind of stuck. Ah, the Zoom is failing me. So sorry. Anyway, beautiful design with the can. How it is. Nice graphics. I feel like my nose is like my nostrils are like a little bit like kind of stuck. Meaning like I have a hard time breathing through the nose. It's almost like some flu is trying to kick in. Probably because I've been training so hard for the last few weeks, like good fucking proper powerlifting. But now my body is like a little bit sore. My back, my my titties, my triceps, my lower back, my hamstrings. Everything is like I feel I've been hit by a truck. All right. So answering your more questions. So Brian Mons needs to go out to get more beers. Oh, that's tricky. RP, I saw Ether at Steelfest and it sounded pretty nice. So it was cool. Hello, Eric Sire. Good news for you, my man. If you're still there, Eric. Tomorrow I have scheduled a the Sire 3 7-inch EPs, the ones that you sent me long time ago, years ago, as a gift, and I decided to fuck it. I'm gonna make them into a review video, like picking some older stuff from my boxes between the new ones. So yeah, people, welcome Eric Sire, man behind the good Quebec band, Quebecois band, Sire. So nice to have you here. Cherry streaming for real. Cecilia Taylor. Nagelfar is asking, what is my job outside of this? Well, I work in PR department, meaning I get to write a lot of press releases and stuff like that, mostly related to technology and gaming. Now, the good thing doing PR myself is I get to see the music industry on the other side of the table, as opposed to being a review guy where you get a lot of emails from PR people and all. So yeah, and Cecilia Taylor, I was streaming only water, so there's that. So no need to get upset there. I have one kid, 10 years old daughter, not into metal, but of course she used to listen to daddy's music back in the days. Brian Mons, my door fascinates me. Which door? And what do I think about Opeth now? Well, Opeth isn't exactly my cup of tea, to be honest. And I don't know, maybe too proggy or whatever. Um, sorry. What are you talking about, Brian? What are you trying to pronounce? Slayer is having rum and coke. That's the thing. Slayer is asking, what's my take on Shadow Throne? Well, it used to be my favorite Satyricon album at some point, but I don't know. Later years, I guess I'm more into Nemesis Divina after all. But Shadow Throne is probably their second best still. So, in my opinion, it's better than Dark Medieval Times, which is a little bit like figuring out what to do and all that stuff. So, yeah. Gerald is asking for how long or how far I can run without stopping. I have no fucking idea. I'm not much of a runner these days. Yes, Rob Hall, Fellfire, good massage and steam room, and probably massage from some nice looking lady. Yeah, Eric Sire's music is fucking great. I don't know why the Sire is so often forgotten when we're talking about Quebecois black metal. Don't get me wrong, there are great bands coming from Quebecois metal scene. You know, the very melodic kinds like Deletier or, Monarch, Forteresse. But to be honest, I'm more into that kind of a punkier, kind of a dark thronian thing with that Sire is doing, and it's more my kind. And even though Akitsa is also quite nice, well, this Sire is just more my thing. So I'm very very proud and happy to have musicians like Eric here. Checking out the videos every now and then, and of course one thing what I really like with the Sire is the graphic designing, like the kind of a pattern what goes on album after album and release after release. That's not so given these days. There are only few. I would say even handful of bands that are able to keep certain graphical style intact, consistent. Cannibal Corpse is of course one because they have the same graphics guy in all the albums, but there are only few bands that are able to just keep the style intact, which I find fascinating. I'm not much of a visual guy, but when things just like click the right way, I'm like, yeah, do it. I'm sucker for details, like like Baratrum's naming the album so that it's makes those letters Hail Sova, and who knows after that, or Morbid Angel going in alphabetical directions like A for Altars of Madness, B for Blessed Are the Sick, C for Covenant, and all that stuff. So yeah. And yeah, Eric, I'm really happy that I went through those 7-inch ones because they're all good, and it also uh, gave me the idea that I should be checking out Audio Pain, a band that names have been popping up every now and then, but I never gave it proper chance. And what a good time it was when I was listening to those Desire 7-inch was that I was just recently finishing reading the Battery book, and of course there's this 7-inch EP featuring Macabre Roman and yours doing the Battery covers. And which is so funny, which I mentioned in the review, is that "Hope of Once Brave" is my favorite Battery song. So nice coincidence. Rewinding is asking, does it snow in Finland in December? Most likely it does. Usually it does. But December, at least southern Finland, where I am living, it's more like snowing, melting. So it's not very high chance to get even the white Christmas kind of thing, because sometimes you might have snow for only a few hours and then it melts away. But towards the end of month, uh, like Christmas, most likely there will be snow on the ground. But you never know it for sure. Then again, all we know is that it could really snow already in October, likely in November. So all bets are off. See ya, Lucas. Catch you later. Brian Mons, the beer name is just after the band name, Kaunis Kuolematon, which literally means beautiful immortal. Some say Kaunis Kuolematon as a band is a kind of a copycat or worship band of another Finnish band, Kuoleman Laakso, Death Valley. Kuoleman Laakso is this basically one man project, even though there are other musicians as well. by a guy who is known for his work in Finnish metal journalism, as well as I think he had parts in Swallow the Sun. And Kuoleman Laakso, actually, the band which is the what I'm talking about, is actually quite of a good band. I mean, it's the kind of a doom death, very dramatic, a little bit gothic maybe. And I never heard Kaunis Kuolematon myself, but everybody keeps saying that whether we're talking about the name of the band or the cover of the albums or certain album names, they're almost referring to Kuoleman Laakso. And the funny thing is, Kaunis Kuolematon is probably more known these days than Kuoleman Laakso, which is older. So sometimes these homage or tribute things go weird ways. But yeah, this is very, very golden, Kölnisch, Cologne type of beer, as you can see. This is more golden when I see it like this, you know. But when you put directly before the light, it looks like a weird piss. And this, because it's Cologne type of beer, Kölnische, uh, it's very, very light. Like you could drink dozens of these. Thank you, Gabriel, for your words. I try to be fucking awesome. I probably will fail at that, but thank you for your words. I will be doing the stream at least for as how long I have this beer. So, people, make your questions and ask me something silly or smart. Either way is good. Byron Mons is catching a hockey game. Spoken like a true Canadian. Enjoy the game. The Desolate One, I wish you the cold kind of winter. I'm not personally looking forward to that because I live in the countryside, meaning I fucking have to plow the fucking snow. One of the reasons why I got a new car this summer was I wanted a 4x4 and fully electric. I mean, my previous BMW was 4x4 because I got stuck with my earlier BMW, which was more of a sporty model or sedan, whatever. And I fucking annoyed me, like when would get snow and it would melt, and then you get more snow and melt again. It was like making the fucking yard very slippery, and I was like, "Fuck that shit." And I need a 4x4 car, and nowadays I luckily have it. So not a big fan of the those cold winter months when it's not really snowy and when it's still snowing somewhat. So yeah. Slayer is asking what bands I would like to have an interview with. Well, I've said this a million times already, but I would like to interview all the bands in the world, all the metal bands in the world, mind you. But if I got to choose my favorite ones, I would fucking love to interview Metallica, Slayer, Burzum, and Darkthrone. I kid you not. Slayer and Metallica. I grew up with that shit. Metallica mostly, and Wasp, of course. Uh, but Slayer is the like one of the best bands in the world, so of course that would be high on the list. And Burzum, well, everybody knows why everybody would talk to Burzum if given the possibility. And Darkthrone because it's the best black metal band on earth. So yeah. But yeah, Clandestine Blaze. I've been trying to get Mikko Aspa to do Clandestine Blaze interview. We talked a lot about that at Steelfest 2024, and he's still not sure if it will happen. But let's hope it will happen. But yeah, there are plenty of bands what I would like to do interview, like Deathspell Omega, Graveland, things like that. So plenty of bands. Lex Pilgrim is asking, do you use stainless steel beer bottles or plastic? Plastic most of the time. Isengard 11 is asking what I think about Fenris side project Isengard. I fucking love you know Höstmörke album. Winterskygge is pretty cool as well, but Höstmörke is the shit. And once upon a time, we actually rehearsed the song um, Storm of Evil by Isengard. I had the postcard somewhere. I don't know where it is nowadays, but I had and I showed it one of the streams. I don't have a fucking clue where I have put it. But I had this postcard from Fenris himself where there are like half the lyrics for um, Storm of Evil. He wouldn't remember all the lyrics, but he would send me the postcard early 2000s, like half the lyrics for Storm of Evil when we said that when I wrote to him via a friend that I would love to do a cover song, or at least rehearse the cover song of Storm of Evil. I'm still checking out where the fuck it is because I used to keep that postcard from Fenris as a bookmark. You know, would remind me. It was this classic bar, Elm Street. It's probably somewhere around on my table, but my table is really a mess. I keep piling CDs and sometimes vinyl here, pens, even a fucking knife here. So the postcard is somewhere. But yeah, talking about Isengard thing, I mentioned it in my True Black Metal Norwegian Black Metal series last year. Uh, Talking about the whole, discography of Isengard, and the third album is just horrible. So yeah. Dust Cost. Yes, I hope to be at Beyond the Gates next year as well. Eric, exactly, my friend. Exactly. Yeah, it's funny when people who don't have that much snow get romantic about snow. Oh, I wish it was snowing. It's so awesome when it's winter and it's white and you get all the beautiful piles of snow. And we're like, fuck you, snow. When you're fucking plowing it to death, like our yard is a long one. I don't give a shit if you don't understand metric system, people. Right there, this is not to Eric, but in general, like we have probably 100 meters our yard from the front door to the private road which leads out the fuck. And when you need to plow it so that you can actually drive a car, not just tiny walking path. I made a couple of funny short videos last winter, because we have those um, wiener dogs. They have these tiny, tiny, tiny feet. So they are not exactly very happy when you get like, say, more than few centimeters of, of snow. So of course I was fucking plowing because I think it fucking snowed like, I don't know, 15 centimeters, 6 inches or so, snow within hours. Meaning, if the dog is this how to say tall, and there's as much snow, you just fucking plow the fucking snow out of the way so that the dogs can go out. But if I would, just plow the fuck out the whole amount from the yard away, it would take me like 3 fucking hours. Now imagine first you're like 8 hours at your job, then you go for eat something, and the next 3 hours, you're just putting your headphones on and blowing the shit like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, it ceases to be fun. It's almost like mowing grass, mowing your lawn. Maybe the first time it's like first time after the spring, it's like, hey, it's nice. You get to smell the freshly cut lawn. It smells nice. And for the first time in, I don't know, 6 months, you're doing it. It's like, yay, it's not that bad. Grab a beer, mow the fucking lawn, man. After a couple of times, you're like, fuck off. Because, for example, in our case, the yard takes about 2.5 hours to just take care of it all. So, I mean, that's when you start contemplating whether you have other priorities in your life rather than plowing the snow or fucking mowing the lawn. I mean, I don't hate physical work, but there is physical work and then there's boring kind of physical work, like chopping firewood. That's actually quite relaxing. Uh, like I was at our summer cabin the last weekend or so, and I was just I had my Bluetooth speaker right there, was blasting some Barathrum, swinging the axe and like do my muscles do the work. And after 90 minutes or so, I had a nice pile of firewood just there, line up for the coming winter to, to be burned. But, imagining 90 minutes of flowing snow, it's more like a big fuck you. So, yeah, people have weird romantic thoughts about, oh, snow is so wonderful. Yeah, maybe if you like skiing, snow is so wonderful if you don't have to fucking plow it. So, yeah. It's almost like having a dinner in a restaurant. It's nice when someone else is cooking it for you, but try putting some 90 minutes cooking your own food, which is not gonna taste that good. It fucking sucks, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna complain too much, but yeah, I'm totally in the same page on the same page with Eric. It's like people get romantic about winter and snow. So yeah, maybe try plowing it yourself. Plowing. Rewinding is asking what's the best hockey team in Finland. Unfortunately, and unable to give you a proper answer because I don't really follow ice hockey. I'm the weird guy from Finland who watches American football, NFL, and not so much Finnish ice hockey. The weird thing is, Satanakia from Azazel called me a week ago, and he was telling me some things about Finnish ice hockey, like his team, Tappara, from nearby region where he's from, was going to kick ass of another team. And I'm like, sorry, Mr. Satanakia, but I don't follow ice hockey. But he was explaining it to me, like so important to him. So, Mr. Arizona man, unfortunately, and I am unable to help you out with that. Bruno's Pictures, I'm happy that you like the record collection videos. I'm currently listening to albums in the letter D. Next one is supposed to be Death. The band Death. I fucking love Death, man. So it's nice to listen to my own old albums and figuring out what to sell and what to buy. So yeah, that will be letter D soonish in a few weeks. Oh, rewinding is coming to Finland in December. How to dress? Well, it depends where you're going. If you're going to Lapland, prepare to dress a lot more. It will be a lot colder. If you're coming to southern Finland, you don't need that much. It's not that gonna be that cold in December usually, meaning you can almost survive on late fall clothing. But it depends. Sometimes even December can be quite cold, but February and January, they are the bitches. Yeah, desolate ones. I'm not gonna argue about heat versus plowing, but I mean, I lived in Spain for 6 months, and I gotta say I like the heat more than plowing snow because heat, well, I just put my air conditioning on and I'm like fucking yay, and you know cold drinks and beautiful ladies with not too much clothes on. Oh, I love it. Whereas cold weather and everybody looks like a fucking Michelin. I'm talking about the tire brand people. You know how the Michelin logo is. And yeah, Tiako already mentioned that December can be anything from +5 Celsius to -20. So that's pretty much how it is. Wearing layers is always a good tip. Tia knows her shit. So yeah, dress warm, but dress with layers. You can have like, the kind of what you have the wife beater and then the t-shirt and the long sleeve and the hoodie, and if you need then jacket. Usually 3 layers is enough. I go for t-shirt, long sleeve, and a winter jacket. Hello, Gabriel. You were quick to come back. Yeah, the cold is all right, but blowing snow sucks. So that's the difference. But snow has its benefits. The dark winter isn't quite as dark when you have a little bit snow on the ground. It can look very fucking nice. So there's that. But it's also, Canadians and Finnish people probably know it very well. Like it's the time when depression can really kick in. When it's just so fucking dark. I mean, when you go to work, it's dark. When you come back from the work, it's already dark. So the only hours of light you end up being at work. So it's kind of like fuck off. But I don't mind. I mean, I'm inspired by darkness, so that's why that's the one theme in Nightside. My old band is I always go for the darkness. Like, give me evil sounding songs, give me darkness sounding songs, and I'm cool. So darkness is a special thing for me. Don't get me wrong. I'm as much of a daytime guy as I am a nighttime guy. But I mean, daytime is great for having beers outside and going for a walk in the woods or checking out some babes on the streets while having a pint of beer. But dark time is more when you go, by yourself, alone. You keep time for whether it's watching movies, writing down some lyrics, or I don't know, maybe picking up guitar. I rarely pick up my guitar and play, but I'm just saying. And nighttime can be fucking, inspiring, really. So yeah, I do love night times. That's why it's so fun to do these streams during night times as well, because while in my room it's totally, all lit up. But let me show you what I mean when it's dark. I'm gonna shut down the lights here for a bit, one by one. And what you can see in a little bit is how dark it is gonna be here in a countryside and all. There's still one light coming up, and it's the balcony light. Let's switch that off. Now there is one more source of light, and that's something I am unable to uh, shut down here because I'm in the man cave or sauna building, my home office. This is how dark it is. If I would now go inside and switch off the light, you probably wouldn't see a thing. So this is essentially how dark it is. As you can see, the whole room after me is pretty motherfucking dark. So if some ghosts start appearing behind me, that's real haunted shit. So my point here is it's fucking dark here without all the lights. I mean, if I would turn you a little bit onto the seaside, this is what you see. You see, oops, that bluish thing is some kind of a glare effect, and that light source you see on the other side, that's also some glare effect. There is nothing actually visible. So this is how outdoors look like in Finland in October. Welcome. So my point here is this can be very very inspiring time, because it's so fucking dark. But we probably, for the sake of stream, we probably need a little bit more. So maybe for the viewers, maybe for the audience right there, it's more, it's better this way, I guess. Rewinding. If you need more tips when coming to Finland, feel free to send me a message, and I can try to help you out. But like Tia said, layered clothing is a good idea. In Nagelfar, I actually made a video of my Death Worst to Best a few years ago. And yes, Symbolic is one of the very few 10 out of 10 albums in the world for me. So yeah, it's my favorite Death album. Rob Hellfire, guess what? If you hate wind with passion, don't come here. I live by the seaside, meaning the seaside is only maybe some 20 meters away. It's always very fucking windy here. So yeah, when it's summer, you feel like it's not hot enough because it's windy, and when it's like winter time, it gets so windy. Sometimes it's so fucking cold. Even if it's not cold, the wind makes it fucking cold. So yeah, this is like one. I know what you mean. That -17 just cuts to the fucking bone. It's the same thing here. Really. JK is asking if 20 sub special is going to be 24-hour stream. As fun an idea it would be, I don't have the energy nor time to do 24 hours because it's not my day job. I mean, I have things to do. It would be cool to make 24-hour stream, like seriously pack the shit, here, food and beverage, all, but nope, because this is not my day job and I'm not making my living out of it. Sacrificing things so that I could be on the stream for 24 hours. No, thank you. And yeah, Cicely Taylor, we're really happy that we don't get hurricanes, we don't get tornadoes, we don't have the poisonous animals. Finland, in that respect, is a very, very safe fucking country. Yes, Tia, I totally agree. Winter Darkness is perfect for movie or gaming marathons. Yeah, yeah, very good. Eric Sire, I know that the new Blood Incantation album is out, but I haven't given it a chance yet. The thing here is, I didn't like too much the early two Blood Incantation albums. The our ambient one was mostly for my liking, so I'm kind of skeptical if I will like Blood Incantation that much. See you later, Desolate One. Have a good one. Take care. Yes, Gabriel, 24 hours. I mean, oh, straight 24 hours. Imagine the level of sleep deprivation. My family would probably fucking kill me if I said, like, hey, I'm gonna spend 24 hours talking to strangers. My wife would be like, are you fucking crazy? You just fucking idiot. She doesn't understand metal community thing at all. Yeah, -40, -50 sounds like, oh, oh, come on. Yeah, Cecilia Terrell, we have reindeer, and the reindeers are not bad people. They are, as far as I can remember, as far as I know, I don't say I have reindeers as friends, but they're pretty cozy animals, as much as I know anything about them. Which reminds me, a few days ago, I was taking my kid to her theater thing. There's a old mansion, and my wife and my our kid and my wife's friends, they're doing some kind of a pop-up theater thing, kind of a Halloween tour in that mansion. Very cool one. They did one last year. This new one is going to be very cool as well. And I was, taking my daughter for practice, because she will be performing some kind of a Twisted Kid in the Halloween tour, and we saw a couple of moose. It was They were staring at the motherfuckers like, "Hey, what's up with you people? What the fuck are you staring? Have you never seen a moose eating a fucking apple tree?" And I was like, "Kid," to my kid. She was on the back seat, I think, or whatever. Anyway, I was driving, not her. I was like, "Hey, check out! There's a moose." I'm like, "Dad, where? What the? They're moose!" Like, have you never ever seen a moose before? And they was just like, "What the fuck are you staring, people?" Yeah, so we have moose on this island. They're not that common, but they are few. And today we had some hunters hunting down some moose because you have to call to herd a little bit. So there it is. Um, I'll be honest with you. We don't get to see those moose very often here. I think every like once a few in a few years or so. But yeah, this is the kind of a place that you get to see moose. And like actually Eric just typed, they are impressive. I'm lucky that they didn't jump on the front of me on a fucking highway. They were just hanging around on the yard and eating probably rotten apples or whatever. But yeah, they are impressive animals. I give you that. Yep. Deer, we have deer. Sometimes when I'm going for the building at night, from the man cave, and I go in, and sometimes I just hear like someone is running about from our yard to the neighbor's yard, and you're like, I know it's a deer, but I cannot see it. Sometimes when it's less dark, I've seen a couple of them. And when we were living in a nearby island, still a few years ago, I think this is year number 6 now. Um, one year there was there 5 deer at the same time on our backyard eating the fucking apples. And you don't have to more than just like open the balcony door and like, hello, and they're like, whoa, fuck, and they go running about. But here we have a lot of deer, and they always come to look for something to eat, like apples. We have a few apple trees here, so they're always eating eating those apples or whatever they can find. So that's why when people are bitching in the local Facebook groups, oh, they're deer, you have to shoot them down, and the hunters are like, okay, when it's hunting season, they gonna like once again call the herd and whatever. But yeah, deers are so much more common here than moose. Yeah, perkele, that works. That works, Cecilia. That works both for the ladies and the deer. You say perkele, and everybody goes away. Talking of rats, I don't know if you people knew that, but we have a few chickens. So I think it was like 2 years ago. My wife called me at at some point that there was this frozen dead rat, like frozen to death in the what do you call the hen house. And this it seems like this rat had like frozen to the wall, like getting stuck. She was calling that, hey, I need to help to remove the rat or whatever. But I guess, I mean, she's not exactly a person of patience. So I think she decided to like give it a go and remove the rat. And I don't know if you have been handling dead animal who are frozen, but what happens is that you just like it just rips up, you, you try to take the whole animal off your wall so you can just, I don't know, bury or throw it into the fucking forest. Turns out that, the body just gives up, and you have half the mouse, half the rat uh, in your hand or whatever tool she was having. And let me put it this way: she's not that much of a sensitive person, but a lot of nowadays people are not exactly insensitive when you have like half a dead animal in your hands. So yeah, imagine ripping half a dead rat in your hands or whatever. Like yeah, country life for real, man. And talking about dead animals, I mean, I buried a few dogs and a cat and a chicken in our yard over the years, or yards, technically speaking, before because we moved house a few years ago, and I had already buried a couple of dogs in the old house's yard. And with this house, I've already buried at least one cat, two dogs, one chicken. And I remember at the old house, there was this, I guess, mangled rat by a cat or something that was like very, very badly hurt rat individual. And I had to finish this rat with a fucking, shovel. uh, it, it, it it annoys me, it pains me, to cause damage, violence towards these animals. But sometimes you do the right thing, and if you see a badly injured animal, and the only right call is to kill it, as much as it feels bad to do that. But sometimes you have to do that. So yeah, country life. Yes, it's the right thing, but it also feels like it feels bad. I mean, I'm what you call omnivore. I eat meat, I eat veggies, so it's not like I'm the vegan here. But it feels still sad to kill the animals when you like they're like the innocent bastards right there, and you're not even eating them. I mean, obviously, I'm not eating a rat here. Yeah, Rob. I mean that blindness thing that kind of makes sense. Sometimes the deers just stare at you and they don't have a fucking clue what they're staring at. Cecilia Taylor, your neighbor has chickens, and you live in the middle of city, right? That's Cecilia Taylor. We have a quite amount of animals: bear, deer, possum, coyotes. Coyotes. Wow, that's a nice amount of animals. Wow. Yeah, Eric's right. We're old geezers. We talk about weather, beer, country life, and staring at the ladies. No, seriously. I mean, I just go rambling around various topics. Like before you joined the stream, we were talking about martial arts, and I was swinging a knife here. And of course, people ask me a lot about different bands and albums and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, eventually weather is that one thing that kind of connects us all, because no matter if you're rich or old, poor, young, whatever, you can't escape weather. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be 50 next year, so technically speaking, I'm an old man already. Yeah, Gabriel, I understand. Yeah, yeah, it can be like that. But yeah, yeah. To be honest, while we have the saying that when you talk about weather, you're a boring person and all that stuff, but I mean that's like oversimplifying things because obviously it might sound like a fucking mundane thing, but then be let's be honest about it. If you have like the hurricanes like fucking Helen in United States saying like talking about weather is boring thing, like fuck, people are dying because of these fucking hurricanes and shit, so it's not that boring, to be honest, in my opinion. I mean, when we're talking about places like northern Canada or northern USA as well, or Finland or northern Russia, whatever Nordic countries, well, people are dying because of cold. So it's not really that simplistic. It's boring because weather is what it is. But I mean, like uh, it's a factual thing that when you go too much hot or too much cold, it's gonna kill you. And that's the beauty with the force of nature is that whether you like it or not, or whatever you have, your super badass AC, it still can fuck you up. I mean, let's be honest. Elon Musk has billions of dollars. He's the richest man on earth, or something like that. But if we throw Elon Musk into, say, Death Valley or, say, Alaska, suddenly that money doesn't matter that much because when you're facing extreme conditions, extreme weather, suddenly who gives a fuck if you have money if you're gonna die because the extreme weather? My point here is, whether we consider all these things of nature something that we can take care of. Well, the nature can fucking take care of us when the timing and the preparation is a little bit off. So, or you remember that tsunami thing? Some what it was 20 years ago. People were like just enjoying their life on a fucking beach, drinking cheap ass drinks, taking the Thai massage, enjoying their lives. And then some tsunami. Fuck you, people. It's like a big fucking slap on their face. Did it touch that much metal community? But probably everybody knew at least somebody who was, you know, somewhat related to that event. Like in Finland, we lost one of the bigger pop artists who were making bad music, but that's a different story. And of course, the Swedish band Nasum lost its one of the main members with the tsunami and shit like that. So my point here is forces of nature. They are powers to reckon with. So yeah, I mean, talking about real extreme weathers is way more interesting than talking about typical lyrics of a typical metal band. Let's put it this way. Cecilia, there are probably way too many people saying that I talk too much. So guilty as charged. 11 about Sami people. Well, I think they're their own culture, and I have respect for what they do. But I don't pretend I know Sami people or Laplanders, I guess what you're referring to. In other words, so what can I say? Sami people, in a way, are much like the indigenous people of Finland, much like there are similar people in America. So what can I say? I respect their culture, and I think it's nice that they get the recognition for what they deserve. So yeah, Eric Sari is saying nature is the great equalizer. That's very true. And congratulations on your 50th birthday. It's a milestone. I figured out we would be roughly the same age, to be honest. But I wasn't sure if you were older or younger than me. But yeah, so you're 1974, whereas I'm 1975. And yeah, Rob Hellfire. I totally agree. Weather is fucking metal if you really think about it. I mean, one of the reasons why I respect seas and oceans so much is that when I look at the majesty, I find it very fucking inspiring. I mean, what other force, if you can call it force, than sea has taken down so many people? Ships of ancient Rome, Greece, and other places, India, lots of armies have taken ships and like, okay, let's move to another country and let's conquer their asses. And then because of unprepared or whatever, the seaside is like, fuck you, I'm gonna sink your ship and you're gonna die and you're gonna do nothing about it. So yeah, I find the vast sea very, very inspiring. It makes us human beings very, very humble, because sea can be the big feeder, with all the fish and other seafood right there. It can take you places with your ships and boats and whatnot, but it can also kill a life in so many ways, basically. Well, not so many, but still. So yeah, I find seas and oceans very, very interesting, and of course because I grew up with those maritime documentaries about Jacques Cousteau and the like, who were like exploring the deep seas back in the what it was 60s, 70s. I don't remember, and you could live totally different universe filled with life, the crabs, the sharks, all that, the vast amount of different animals. Or what are those fucking deep sea fish that go really fucking deep in and dark and have the fucking lighters, the almost like light bulbs before their fucking head. It's just like, what the fuck, you cannot make up that shit. So it's just some crazy Lovecraftian thing, really. But yeah, seas and oceans, they're highly inspirational. Maybe one day before I die, I really need to, like write a debut tribute song or two for the seas and oceans. So yeah, there's that. Bruno's Pictures, Lappi, Lappi, is a northern part of Finland as well as Norway and Sweden. So it's a geographical location or area which is not just one country but many countries. So yeah, tsunami. Yeah, Junami Nami. Arkadius is asking if I'm familiar with the Polish metal scene. Yes, I know some black metal bands and other bands from Poland. I know some Polish people from metal scene. So yeah, Bruno's Pictures. Yeah, you should totally visit Lappi. Lappi is a place where some people visit during summertime because they want to see the romantic nature of Lapland, the vastness, the colors, the mosquitoes. And some people go there, during the winter times for skiing or exploring or just the calmful nature of the place. What about Chlamydia, Cecilia. Oh yeah, Rob Hellfire. I have a Terrestrial Hospice T-shirt. Yeah, it's a great band. One of my favorite Polish Norwegian bands. I mean, I count it as both, and I'm happy to call the Terrestrial Hospice guy as a friend. Great hospitality right there. Uh, good dude, and nice. His girlfriend or wife, whatever it is, spouse, also nice. Great people, great music, and also happy that we made the terrestrial hospice interview last year, and he also took me to some nice Norwegian fjells for a little bit exploring. Cecilia, don't be scared. Chlamydia is kind of how to say not too serious pop uh, punk rock band, whatever you call it. But guys, stream it has been here almost. I mean, not almost, but more than 2 hours and 30 minutes. Should we go with call it a night? Because I could really finish my pizza, which I got after to be eaten after the gym, and I could really just sit down for a bit and watch some telly and eat pizza. So make your final questions. All right, Eric Sire, catch you later. And the next stream should be taking place, assuming there are no exceptions, should be taking place on November 2nd. So exactly 3 weeks from now. But might be some changes depending if there are some challenges. So November 2nd or November 9th, probably around Finnish midnight anyway. So good night, Eric, and good night, Lex, and the rest of the people. And of course, we will be talking on Rauta's Discord server just on daily basis about metal music and all. And yeah, next week, and Ocean's interview out. I'm gonna share it to Patreon supporters, and don't know when the next interview after that will be taking place, but I will keep you people posted. And yeah, prepare your next questions for the next stream sessions, and I will be answering them. So good night, take care, people, and I hope you have a nice weekend. And my pleasure to have you this stream. So see ya, people. Off you go, and stay tuned for Rauta News for 20K subscribers happening, and then we will do some special broadcasts or whatever. So now off you go. Bye bye.